back to the Dave Nemo Show.
On this freaky, feisty, flinty, and really fun Friday, this, of course, is a continuation of the ACT Expo coverage over here at the Media Interviews and Content Creator Zone, which, of course, is just having cool conversations with cool folks. We're talking with our friends from Volvo Penta. Of course, that means Vice President of Industrial. That's Darren Tasker, who joins us this morning. Good to see you, Darren.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
And you and I actually were getting a chance to talk before we came on. You call the UK home, you call London your home, and you and I have a little commonality that I actually got a chance to see both a Tottenham football game and a New Orleans Saints football game over in that new stadium. Well, it's not brand new anymore. That really is a cutting-edge place, isn't it?
It's fantastic. Unfortunately, the soccer team that I follow, which is Tottenham, are not doing too well at the moment, but the stadium is fantastic.
At least when you go and you have to suffer, you suffer in comfort, and that's really great.
You suffer in luxury.
Now, part of what you guys are doing, though, over at Volvo Penta is you're making sure that people actually succeed in luxury, that they actually are able to kind of enjoy themselves while at the same time still making profitability, that they're able to kind of get what their needs met on the road and on the highways and byways. And coming to events like this is really crucial, not just for you guys to show what you're doing, but to figure out what everybody else is doing. It's a chance really to meet with your friends and make that happen. Can you talk briefly about why events like the Expo are so important?
Well, I think it's a great event. I mean, firstly, we can showcase what we're doing, and there's a lot of work and time and effort going into developing cutting-edge technology. Cutting-edge technology that's not only more sustainable, but it's more fuel efficient. It's more effective for customers. So, we can showcase what we're doing, but we can see complementary suppliers. We can see our customers. We can see our competitors too. So I mean, it's a really great show, ACT Expo. It's a privilege to be here.
Well, and the other thing is too, and this maybe it is the dynamic capitalist at heart that I have inside of me. I want my competitors to be good at what they do.
Absolutely.
Because that way, when I'm better than them, I'm not just good or okay, I'm the best. I really am kind of out there on the cutting edge. And, and the idea of seeing what everybody else is up to pushes us further to do what we have to kind of do. But I want to talk more about the charging infrastructure solutions. Let's kind of dig into that in particular, because it's great to have all the kind of equipment you need to make it work. If there's no place to charge it, if there's no place to kind of make it operate from an A to B basis, it's worthless. Talk a little bit about your efforts on that front.
Well, one of the benefits of Volvo Penta, if we just start there, is that we're part of the Volvo Group. So we're the component supplier of the Volvo Group. So on the charging side, we know what the issues are because we have a truck division, we have a construction equipment division that's all looking for charging. So what we do is we provide the components that the Volvo Group manufacturers. We make some changes to those components and we sell them to manufacturers of charging solutions. So we know what the problem is. We have components within the Volvo Group that can help solve that problem, and then we provide those components to manufacturers of charging infrastructure solutions. So I think we do have the benefit of seeing the problem firsthand and being able to come up with solutions to the problems for Volvo and then for other other products too. So I mean, I think we have a unique insight.
How do those communication lines work, by the way? I'm kind of curious because you do have, in many ways, some people who work in some of these fields have to have partners. Now, not that you guys don't have partners, but you also have colleagues that you can often reach out to. It's kind of this colleague/partner. So they're experiencing their stuff. I mean, is it simply a matter of picking up a phone and go, hey, I got a question for you. I have this issue that we're beginning to see out there. Are you guys pivoting to that? Or maybe you should get a heads up that you should pivot to that. How does that communication structure work?
I mean, it's a good question. We're a global company.
Right.
So we have the setup of Volvo is, again, helps that because we have divisions within Volvo which cross all the segments, all the business areas. So we have a core development group within Volvo that develops products. We have an operations group that spans all the business areas. So the solutions that the Volvo group are developing for Penta and trucks and CE, the other business areas, Volvo buses, we can all pick from the solutions that Volvo group are developing. So we have that internally, and then in the marketplace we have look at the booth today. It's a Volvo Group booth. It's not Penta are on there, Volvo Construction Equipment are on the booth, Volvo Trucks, of course, the dominant product from the Volvo Group in this arena, have a good share of the booth, but it's a shared Volvo Group booth. So there's a lot of collaboration going on. We actually have provided energy storage units that are mobile charging stations to other Volvo Group companies, and those units are being sold in the marketplace now together with electric construction equipment, for example. So there's collaboration in the marketplace, and there's collaboration centrally on the development side.
Well, and there's also, and by the way, if I lose you, say I've lost you, and I'll come back and get out of the deep grass here, but I'll give you an example. So we talk about the idea that, diesel is dominant in regards to trucking still. But diesel is actually the place, if you're going to run up in Wyoming right now, diesel's probably the way to go. But there are opportunities down south for electric. And I was kind of curious, given the global reach of Volvo, if in fact solutions from one side of the globe actually often find themselves applicable to solutions on the other side. That because you have so many laboratories to test stuff in, because of your international presence, if in fact there are moments where somebody over in Europe can inform somebody in the States, can inform somebody maybe down in Australia, what are the connective tissues? Are you always looking for solutions, sometimes in the most unlikely places? Have I lost you, or did it make any sense there?
I think I think that's actually a good question. I mean, being a global organization is really important when you're trying to find solutions. It helps that we do have presence in different markets. Even with diesel technology, diesel technology can evolve, and it is evolving to be more fuel efficient. We can save 10% fuel efficiency. We can offer engines that emit less harmful exhaust gases, and we can exceed the emission regulations. We can provide products that are exceeding we can provide off-highway, on-highway engines that are in excess of the requirements. So we're reducing the impact on the environment, even with conventional technology. And then you've got alternative fuels. All the engines run on renewable diesel. We're looking at hydrogen, which is going to be used in internal combustion engines. So it's an evolving landscape, and we can take the benefits of reducing fuel efficiency or improving fuel efficiency, reducing operational costs, and we can apply that globally. It doesn't have to stay in low emission markets. We can use ultra fuel efficient products across the globe. So there are benefits everywhere of developing cutting edge technology.
Well, it's great too, because you can also, not just for Western countries, but all across the globe, you can see where the human factor of regulatory action works as well. Where you can be like, look, they're trying this thing out over here in this particular country, it's working extraordinarily. You guys are doing this thing over here, it doesn't seem to be working. They got rid of it, things seem to be improving. You're actually able to kind of get a different sense of what we call governmental or public partners, and kind of be able to kind of not only inform them but learn from them what's working and what isn't working in the public sector, right?
We can, and there's and the picture's evolving. So technology is part of the solution. Fuels is part of the solution. We talk about well-to-wheel solutions. So how is the fuel produced? Is it produced? Hydrogen, for example, we're moving from blue to green hydrogen. Blue hydrogen, we know, is not quite as good for the environment. The process of producing the hydrogen is not quite as environmentally friendly as green hydrogen. But we know if we're going to get to green hydrogen, we have to start using some blue hydrogen. So it's a journey we're on, and we know we're on the journey. And I think it's really important that the focus remains on not just regulation, but how we can improve the experience for customers while meeting all of the regulations.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is too is that I said I'm not going to put you on the spot. Don't worry, but I'm a big fan of nuclear power. I'm a big fan of what the potential for all of that is in regards to that. And until we begin to have a conversation about how we actually power these trucks and the charging infrastructure you're talking about, there is going to be a deficit of how many trucks we can charge that aren't like taking up the same charge account as 18 houses or 20 houses in a community as well too. And so it seems that you guys have to kind of be on the way of figuring out how do we keep these infrastructures for charging powered up. Where is that next generation of power coming from? And that's a place where you guys can only do so much, where you do need the public sector.
But we can help there too. So the energy storage solutions that we have can power up overnight and then charge in the daytime when the grid is stressed. So we can balance the grid with energy storage solutions. We know there are days and times in the day when
it's a big thing. It makes it
when
different.
There's a lack of energy. The grid is moving to a distributed generation, and I think that what we're doing is offering an energy-dense battery from the Volvo Group, which doesn't take up a huge footprint. So when space is an issue, we can offer a good solution from an energy storage perspective. So, I think there's ways of using technology to even help with the utility grid.
And that's kind of amazing. I'm going to ask you this because you got very excited about that. What else are you really excited about? I mean, in regards, what actually gets you going? What's got you, Darren, kind of jonesed up?
I think this show is exciting because there's new ideas you see all the time. But I think from a technology perspective, we've got improvements in internal combustion engines. We're meeting the latest emission regulations, and it's really good to be exceeding that. Then to blend in new technologies. So we talk about the energy storage solutions, which are very, very interesting. We think that we can offer energy storage as a solution to provide an extremely quick response. So we can downsize on diesel engines, we can downsize on backup power generation applications by adding energy storage in between the large reciprocating generation assets and the facility by adding in energy storage. So we think that because we can deploy that energy extremely quickly from the batteries, that we can downsize on the generating assets. So I think there's these things that are exciting. Is it going to change everything? No, it's a small change, but I think it's significant. I think using this technology to improve the overall emissions is important, and that's in excess of regulation. Regulation doesn't force us to do this, but it's coming up with creative solutions on how we deploy the technology.
We're out of time. I can't thank you enough for making time, by the way. Darren Tasker, the Vice President of Industrial over at Volvo Penta, has joined us this morning. And, of course, where can they find out more about Volvo Penta?
Oh, well, we're certainly here at ACT Expo. It's a rather large booth that Volvo has, and it's a great booth. So you won't have any issues finding it, and stop by and say hello.
Guys, we'll be right back on the other side of this. Go to radionemo.com. Check us out on our YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to both. We'll be back after these messages on this freaky, feisty, flinty, and really fun Friday. Go Tottenham.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
All righty. We'll be right back after this.